What's up everybody, it's RobinGaming here. So today's news article that I really want to talk about is already about 2 days old, but I still really wanted to do it because it's a very exciting one. So supposedly, actually DualShockers, the website, came with this article that a source had leaked them some details about Sony's E3 press conference. Now the thing with this is always that, it's this supposed, industry insider slash source who will tell them stuff like this, and it's always to be taken with a pinch of salt. I think that's what it's called, Don't completely, trust something like this. It's just someone who says that they have their sources within Sony or something like that. They are leaking those details. It doesn't exactly, like fully for sure have to happen or something like that. That's never really the case. At the same time, what is being said here, some of it is definitely very, it seems very reliable. These are things I could have said as well beforehand, but at the same time also a few things that are just very, exciting, but on one hand also, I would say a bit unexpected, or just things that I couldn't really picture myself. I wouldn't really say had that much of a chance of happening. So, once again, don't completely rely on this, on everything that is said here. I'll be going over the complete list, but they also had different sources actually verifying some of the rumors. So I'll first be going over those. Those definitely have more of a chance to actually, come true and be shown at E3. So let me first start off with those. And the first one is immediately going to be the most exciting one, at least for me personally. So Uncharted PS4 will get a 3-minute trailer showcasing in-engine footage interspersed with gameplay segments. Now, visuals are supposedly unprecedented and set a benchmark for console graphics. Summer 2015 release date, it looks absolutely stellar, and it features a tropical setting and differing time periods with Nate/Francis Drake. Now, that is just very, very interesting, of course, in my eyes. Like, I actually didn't expect Francis Drake to really be in this game. It looked like they were gonna have a completely different character once again, that they were gonna focus on, kind of like what they did with Marco Polo in Uncharted 2. But yeah, this actually, if this is actually, true, then I definitely think it's interesting. Now, it says it features a tropical setting, Madagascar. I mean, it's probably, the tropical setting he's talking about, right? And I'm sure they'll go to a few different countries as well. It's cool that there will be differing, time periods, and once again, this is all if it's actually, true. Differing time periods, I kind of expected that from the first trailer already, that it would be having, that they would be having these flashbacks to earlier, like earlier years, the 1600s or whatever, and then also, of course, be able to play as Drake, because no way they were gonna ditch him. But yeah, a 3-minute trailer. I was hoping for 10 minutes of gameplay, but I mean, a 3-minute trailer showcasing in-engine footage, gameplay segments as well. It's gonna be incredible, and the visuals, are unprecedented and set a benchmark for console graphics. Once again, just can't wait to see what this game will look on the new hardware, on the PlayStation 4. It's bound to get everyone excited about the system and be like, okay, I need to get myself a next-gen system right now, for those people who didn't have one already. So the other rumors that were that were talked about by various sources and verified is that The Order 1886 will get a stage demo, big title for fall 2014. Sony is expecting great things from the title, and the franchise hopes rest on its performance. I'm sure we'll get a lot of that on E3. That's something that I think, there's no doubt about it, that they'll be showing that, because it's still the scheduled game for the fall of 2014, right? It's going to be Sony's big game for this year, so yeah, I'm sure we'll see more of that. Guerrilla Games bringing their RPG to E3. Provocative setting, very interesting, insane visuals as usual, and a good reaction to the title is expected. Will please the hardcore very much. An RPG, I mean, those were already kind of like the rumors. I'm interested in that because I said that before in my previous video. Guerrilla Games, I love the studio. I can't wait to see what else they can do except for just Killzone. So there's 2 more things. Sony Japan Studios is debuting 2, maybe even 3 titles. One is Project Beast, which is a spiritual successor to Demon's Souls. I'm very interested in that. I tried the first Demon's Souls, didn't really like it, but still wanted to go back to it at some point. But this, if it's something like a Demon's Souls 2, I'll definitely be trying it out. And the other is The Last Guardian, retooled for PS4, possible winter 2014 title. That would be very soon in my eyes. And the other title is shrouded in secrecy, so definitely all sounds very interesting. I mean, The Last Guardian, we've been waiting for it for years now, right? And I think it's clear that that game was just, had some problems in the beginning, and then they decided to just bring it out or start developing it, for the PS4, not the PS3 anymore, which I think is a very logical thing to do for them. The final thing that this source talked about and was verified by others as well is that Evolution will give Drive Club some time in the limelight, shaping up to be an incredible game with jaw-dropping visuals, and the demo release will be timed with the press conference. Like Drive Club, I'm not a big racing fan, but I definitely think it looks pretty good, and this is also something, it was sure from the beginning that they would be showing off this game because, they announced it at the PS4 reveal already. It's time for it to come out, and it will actually in October, so I'm sure they'll be promoting the hell out of it at E3 as well. So then there were some other rumors, and they were actually exclusive to this certain source, so definitely once again take those with a pinch of salt, don't take them too seriously, but I'll be going over them quickly now. So Media Molecule's new title will be a landmark title for Morpheus, which is of course the virtual reality headset by Sony. 3D world building, beautiful quirky visuals, extremely creative and fun, and possibly related to the Entwined trademark that was filed last week by Sony. Late 2015 release date. Once again, I'm actually a pretty big fan of Little Big Planet. I love Media Molecule. They're a great creative studio. I can't wait to see what they can do with it. And a Morpheus title, I'm definitely very interested in it. So Gran Turismo 6 coming to the PS4 as a 1080p 60 FPS game, which I'm also very interested in because once again, not really a big fan of race games, but Gran Turismo is just for sure probably the biggest franchise Sony owns at this moment. GT5 is still the most sold exclusive game on the PS3, so Sony just needs a title like this to be on the PS4 as well, and for GT7 it would be way too early, right? So I'm sure that's gonna happen. So then he also said that God of War would be, God of War 4 would actually be teased. Will be CG with snippets of in-engine footage. Little early for the reveal, but it is designed to offset the negativity surrounding the cancelled new IP, from Sony Santa Monica, of course. Also to partially offset the announcement of a new Gears of War at the Microsoft press conference, and it will be coming out in late 2015. I actually really think that this might just very well happen, God of War 4, that we might already see it at E3, because Sony Santa Monica is still working on a big project next to The Order, and they're working on something else as well. I can't remember it for now. They're helping out at least Ready at Dawn with The Order. So, but yeah, I mean, recently they mentioned that they cancelled their new IP that they had planned. So, what is the other project they could be working on? I mean, it can only be God of War 4, right? So I'm sure that's happening, sometime soon. And whether that's at E3 or later, I mean, I don't know, but I could definitely see it happening very soon. So Killstrain trademark is related to Siphon Filter reboot for the PS4. Sony Band working on that. Might actually still be coming out 2014. I mean, that's cool. Never been a fan of Siphon Filter. Never really played any of the games, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, I'm eager to see more of it. Wipeout is also making the transition to PS4. Sources unsure of who's developing it, but hints is that it could be Sony London, Evolution, or Firesprite. That's also pretty cool. I liked Wipeout on the PS3, so I can't wait to see that. Quantic Dream has a trailer prepared, but it is unsure if it will be shown at Gamescom or E3. Expect Dark Sorcerer-like visuals, and yeah, I mean, they're also actually closing a deal with becoming an exclusive studio to Sony. Big fan of Heavy Rain. I didn't play Beyond, but I always wanted to, so yeah, I can't wait to see what that is. Ninja Theory working on a PS4 exclusive, probably Heavenly Sword sequel, and I find that a bit like, I don't expect it, to be honest, because Heavenly Sword flopped quite massively, I thought. So, I mean, I don't expect this at all, to be honest. Sony London will be at E3 with their first AAA title in many years. Sucker Punch is busy at work on Infamous DLC that will be shown as well. New powers, that's very cool. But then the final thing he ended it with, which I, to be honest, find a bit, strange to say, is that the Sony press conference would be ended with a The Last of Us 2 teaser, and I just totally don't see that happening yet, with Naughty Dog still really busy on Uncharted 4, not even having properly announced that game. Like, it would be too soon in my eyes, but hey, who knows, it could happen, right? I'm sure The Last of Us 2 will happen, but so soon already, I just don't expect it. And those kinds of things really make me unsure about all the rumors that were mentioned here. If he also says something like that, it's a bit overkill for me, right? And I mean, if Sony even shows half of the stuff that is mentioned here, it's gonna be a great E3. I'm actually sure it's going to be amazing. So I know I went over the list quite fast, but I didn't want to make this, too long of a video. So of course, let me know what you think about this whole list. Which games are you excited for, and do you think will actually be shown at this year's E3? And then for now, I'd like to thank you a lot for watching, and I hope to see you again next time.